Welcome to Glorious Creations. My name is Lori, and I'm going to show you what we can do with just a little bit of scrap clay and an extruder to make some beautiful earrings. Hold on, let's get started. This is one of my favorite ways to make a quick pair of earrings with a nice little stripe. And I made these last night, but they're a little bit too bright. I want to get a little bit more of this shade of green and maybe even a little bit darker green. But I want to use my scrap. I don't want to use up new clay like this. So here's what we've got. Got some gold leftovers. I even have some silver leftover. I've got some dark blue here because I'm going to show you a little trick with blue and green here in a minute. And I've got one of the things that makes these earrings so cool when they're baked is that shimmery edge, that sparkle that they get, so it's a little bit more catching to the eye, or eye-catching. I've got some old scrap leaf canes that didn't really work out, and just a little bit more of that bright green. And the tool that I'm going to be using for most of this today is my extruder. But this leaf cane that I've got here, I don't want this orange and yellow to be coming through. So it still needs to be blended up a little bit better and mixed up. I have a sheet of more scrap clay that I'm going to use for my base for this earring. Okay, so really quick, I'm just going to take this. I'm going to blend it up a little bit more so that we can run it through our extruder. This is the tool that creates the magic for this one. Here's the extruder, and it just has, this is the little die cut insert piece that goes in here on your extruder. And a little hint for you when you screw this on: if you go to screw it on and you screw it backwards the wrong way, a little bit intentionally the first time, so that you catch the threads, then you always know you're going the right direction. You always know you're in your thread line. And I say that because I misthreaded it once, and it was not easy to get off. Let me tell you, I had to get some help to get it off from some individuals who were stronger than I was. Even they had trouble with it. So, word to the wise, just beware. Anyway, now I'm going to roll it into a tube, and I need to wind this backwards just a little bit. Give us some room to stick this into the tube. And then I just break it off with my finger. Probably use your X-Acto knife for your blade. When it gets to the end, catch. Turn it back just a little bit so it will release. So the blade, just come along and trim it off. And these, take them side by side and roll them together right there in the middle a little bit, and you suddenly have a longer one. So quick and easy that was. Get a little bit longer on the other end, same thing. Put them side by side like that, touching just a little bit. Roll them with your fingertip, and there you go. Check that out. We got a longer little snake. It's just kind of one of those projects that when you start working on it, you want to give yourself some options. You want to give yourself some things to work with. Now, it's at the end. Bring it back just a little bit so it's loose. I'm going to trim these off. Lay them up here out of our way so you can see my little collection up there. Now, Let's say you've got green and it's just not dark enough. Because this one I think is just too bright green. I want to make it a little bit darker. But you don't have any dark green. All you've got maybe might be some blue. Take a little bit of blue. Start mixing it together. Mix it in there with that green. See how it starts darkening it up? Because we all know the old saying, yellow and blue makes green, right? Darken up your other green. Get a little bit of that blue in there. Just keep mixing them together. Just keep mixing them together. Mix together. But you see how it darkens it up? See how that darkened up? Isn't that nice? See how that one darkened up? Gives you just a little bit more depth, just a little bit of change. It's not quite as bright as this one. Just thought I'd show you that little tidbit. All right. So by mixing that in there, so see what happens with the extruder? You get these really neat effects. So they're not all the same color. They start changing. And then that's how you get these nice little fun variations in your color. Can you see that in the blue one? With your sheet of scrap clay. Mine is rolled out to a number, I believe it's a 4. Yes, it is a number 4. So it's not super thin, but it'll give us a little bit of room to work. If it's too thin, it might tear. All right, so I just want one to start with. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to make some silly little curves. There's no rhyme, there's no reason, there's no wrong or right to this. It's just whatever you're feeling at the moment. All right. Take a green one, lay it right here beside it. And you're just butting them up next to each other. You're not pressing down on the clay. You're not trying to smush it at this point, because if you start smushing into your clay, it'll flatten your snake. That's not what we're going for right now. Trim it off. I like to leave just a little bit on the edge. All right, let's go for some silver. But this one's short. Now, if I wasn't working with scrap, I would have started with bigger amounts from the beginning, make my life easier. Oops, don't do that. Don't do that. All right, let's try this again. Bring it over and just lay it next to it. And before you know it, it just starts making this fun, cool pattern. just wanted to show you guys what you can do with scrap clay. Okay. See how I cut that right there? I'm just kind of tap it in with my blade a little bit. Now I'm going to lay this one in here. Gently next to it. There we go. And just bring it on around. Alright. Now let's go with this lighter green, mixed one. And I'm going to kind of twirl it just a little bit. See how that swirled? See how that'll change? That's what will give you that visual interest, like I showed you on that other piece. Now I'm coming down here to this little corner spot, and I'm going to cut it right there. And then I'm going to take this piece, and I'm going to lay it right here next to it. Oops. Let's try that again. There we go. Trim it off. Okay. I know, it's on the edge. It seems silly to be doing that, but it's a placeholder. It holds these other lines from shifting. See, because the clay is going to move just a little bit. Change the direction. And I'm not applying a lot of pressure. Doing it really gently. But do you see how they're starting to change? Brush just a little bit harder. Move over here. I'm going to take my blade, diagonal the board, not like this, and not totally flat. Like this. And very gently come up underneath it. Can you see that? There we go. Can you see that? How where the edge pieces were separate, but now how it's all nice and together. Saran wrap. Love the saran wrap. Flat. If you use saran wrap, you cut it. It bevels the edges of your piece. It gives them a nice curve, domes them. See, oh look, in that piece that I told you, why was I worried about it? Right there. Look, I'm going to end up using it. Almost all of it. Come on. The same ingredients, the same idea, the same plan, exact same materials, and it's going to turn out different for all of us. I have baked them. I apologize. So these are what the earrings look like now. They're finished. They're out of the oven. Nice and bendable, which is how you want your polymer clay to be when it comes out of the oven. You don't want it to be so hard that when you bend it, it cracks. Polymer clay is supposed to be pliable. So, see why I said they need the sparkle? So, this is what it looks like without any resin. And this is what it looks like with resin. And I know you can see the sheen from the light, but you see how much better it picks the glitter up? Now here's the back. The difference in the two. The original ones look like from where I started, with their resin on them. So you can see the difference once we've added in the white, how it changes the look. Added in the white and the silver, the difference. But it's basically using the same technique